Namaskaram. My greetings to all those who are joining the blessings by Param Pujya Sadhguru from across the country. Our Safai Karmis, Swachhata, Swachhagrahis, and all those who are involved in providing a very clean and hygienic atmosphere in the cities, they are all hearing Param Pujya Sadhguru today, his inspirational speech. I had a great opportunity of attending inner engineering program in January 2018 at Coimbatore at Isha Foundation's headquarters. And from there on, I have followed Sadhguru through the app, through his books, and various other places I have attended his programs. I have seen how many difficult and complex issues he makes it so simple, look so simple, whether it is personal, national, or international. Today, we are facing the greatest challenge of the century. After the World War, that too, which was located only in few places, today the whole world is facing the COVID-19 pandemic, where so far almost like 300,000 people have lost their lives. Almost 3 million people have been directly affected by that. But in our country, under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, we have addressed this major challenge in a very befitting way. Our casualties or the people who have been affected is far, far less than compared to our population. But still, those who are directly serving the people in the wake of all the fear, whether it is the medical community, doctors, nurses, and others who are serving directly to the patients, or the security persons, or the Safai Karmis, Swachhata warriors, they are directly facing people. When people in the complete lockdown, people are keeping at home, they are going and collecting municipal waste from each and every house, including those who have been impacted, who have been infected by the COVID. It is like a soldier on the battlefield. Any time he is expecting a bullet may pierce him, may take his life, yet he is fully determined to serve the nation, safety and security. So are our Swachhata warriors. They are serving our people with that kind of determination. They are also human beings like us. They also feel that kind of a fear. They fear they have to serve their families, yet they are working and doing their job. In fact, on the clarion call of Honorable Prime Minister on 15th August 2014 from the Red Fort, rampart of the Red Fort, and later on 2nd October 2014 when the Swachh Bharat mission was launched, we have traveled a great distance. Think of it, all the achievement we have done in the last 6 years with these Swachhata warriors. If that was not there, possibly this challenge would have turned into calamity. I recall Param Pujya Sadhguru's words, challenging times are not necessarily a calamity. This is a challenging time, but our Swachhata warriors, through their effort, when almost like 99% of our cities are open defecation free, we are processing nearly 65% of the waste. Anybody can go in any part of the country, any city, and you can see the kind of difference which has made in the last 5 to 6 years. But we are yet to travel a long distance. We are facing the challenge of the COVID-19, but we'll further be facing the challenge of making this country the dream of our Honorable Prime Minister or our Mahatma Gandhi, father of the nation, that we should become completely clean. We can make our place completely clean. Even there, I will request, I will urge Sadhguru to give us his blessings. We are so fortunate that we have this sage of this century. He is going to talk to us, and listening to him are lakhs of our Swachhata Karmis, Swachhagrahis, municipal workers, municipal commissioners and the chief executives, chairmen and the mayors of the corporations and the municipal bodies, officers who are working with the Swachh Bharat mission in the states, in the central government, and everybody who has, in fact, the Swachh, our self-help group workers, numbers is almost like 48 lakhs. We have invited them also to listen to Sadhguru, listen to his discourse today. We have 5 of our municipal commissioners and our joint secretary, who is the mission director. Here, they will be asking certain questions from Sadhguru on behalf of our all Swachhata warriors. They will, they are going to be representative of all these people. We also have recorded some questions from our Swachhata warriors from different parts, which will be playing during the course. So let me first invite Sadhguru to start with some blessings, and then I will invite one by one such municipal commissioners who are facing COVID-19 challenges in the most difficult ways. Over to Sadhguru, please.
Namaskaram to all of you. It's a great privilege for me to be able to addressing this one of the most important aspects of essential services of keeping the nation clean and safe. This mission to create a Swachh Bharat is one of the most significant ones, because without this, a nation cannot move forward. It doesn't matter how our industries and businesses function, which is important, but without a clean nation, there is no health, there is no well-being, and there is no attraction for anybody to want to come and live in this nation. There is no attraction for our own citizens to live in our cities and towns when basic cleanliness was the issue. I can see in the last 4 to 5 years' time, there is a significant change in the small towns and cities, even in the villages in Tamil Nadu. There is quite a significant change as to how clean they are compared to how they were just about 5 years ago. And my congratulations and thanks to all of you who are leading this mission at various levels, and all the workers who are on the ground. Without their commitment, without their dedication, and without their involvement, this just cannot happen. I'm glad to see that there is such a huge change in the way we are approaching cleanliness. And as you said, you quoted, challenging times need not necessarily become calamities. Challenging times are there. It is for us to turn it into a calamity or to turn it into an opportunity to raise our capabilities, to raise our commitment, to raise inspiration in the country, and above all, to become stronger and better human beings, to handle life in a much better way than the way we are handling right now as a nation. So, this is a great privilege for me to be addressing all of you who are leaders of this mission, and especially at times like this, cleanliness becomes of supreme importance. And my congratulations and blessings to all those who are on the street doing the work, in many ways risking infection themselves. I bow down to all of them. Whenever a human being starts doing something beyond one's own well-being, where he or she holds others' well-being above their own personal well-being, they become worship-worthy. Please.
Grateful Sadhguru, grateful Sadhguru. I'm going to invite the erstwhile Municipal Commissioner of Indore, which was adjudged as the cleanest city in the country for 3 consecutive times. The 4th one, result is still expected. Result is ready, but we have not announced because of this COVID situation. We are going to announce very soon. With his work, the kind of dedication with which he has been working in Indore, Government of Madhya Pradesh has recently shifted him from Indore to Ujjain as District Magistrate of Ujjain. In fact, Indore has faced this pandemic in a worst possible way. There is a large number of people who have been impacted. So I would request Ashish Singh, the district magistrate of Ujjain, erstwhile municipal commissioner of Indore, only few days back, to ask his first question. Thank you. Ashish.
Namaskar, Sadhguru. Namaskar, sir. Sir, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Sadhguru, I have just two questions for you. First, can we say that this present corona crisis is an opportunity for everyone to light up one's internal power to fight against any future crisis? And second, do you think that this present disaster is a path of new creation?
Path of? New creation. Oh. I didn't understand the second question, I'm sorry.
Sadhguru, my second question is that do you think that this present disaster is a path of new creation?
Okay. Well, when challenging situations come, when difficult situations approach us, that is the time when human beings can rise to become much more than what they usually are. In times of comfort and well-being, unfortunately, a large percentage of humanity doesn't explore the full depth and dimension of who they are. But when they are pushed by challenging situations, they come out. This is not the way a society should be. When everything is well, we should do our best. But unfortunately, that's not been the way of human societies for a long time. Only when crisis comes, people stand up and do the best. If every moment of our life, if we did that, probably the crisis would not come. Or what is a crisis may just pass off as a small aberration in our lives. So this is the opportunity we have. Right now, will we turn this into a great calamity of our generation, or will we make it pass as a small aberration which only strengthened us, which made us better human beings, which made us more caring for each other, closer to each other, and above all, to perform at a higher level in our life, both internally and externally. This is an opportunity we have. As far as I'm concerned, whether there is a pandemic or no pandemic, there is a crisis. Anybody who's not handling their life properly, they are going through crisis. Individuals, societies, nations are going through crisis depending upon how they handle it. So it is not necessarily because of a war or a pandemic or some other disaster that a crisis happens. When human beings don't function to their fullest capability, that itself is a crisis. So at a time like this, we're being tested whether we will be mediocre human beings or will we rise to our fullest possibilities. So I think this is our opportunity as a generation of people to stand up and show who we are, because only in moments of challenging situations or moments of danger or moments when lives are threatened, who we are becomes very important. As Indians, let's show who we really are, what are we made of, how much humanity do we have within us. This is the time, and this is the best time to show that, because this is the time it's most needed. People are living as if their love, their humanity and their compassion are limited commodities and they will run out. If they express it too much, it will get over. There is no such danger. You can express it 24 hours of your life and do the best that you can, it'll not get over. That is not even true with your body. Even this body, physical body, which is a limited entity, the more you use it, the better it becomes. That goes for your intelligence, that goes for your energy, that goes for your love, compassion, everything that's valuable in human life gets better with use. So let's use it to the fullest. Whatever human potential we have, let's use it to the fullest and tide over this situation effortlessly.
Thank you, Sadhguru, and thank you, Ashish, for two questions. I think Sadhguru mentioned that this is a huge opportunity for all of us to realize and prove our best. And I think this is what we will be doing that. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Bachanithi Pani, who is the Municipal Commissioner of Surat. It is one of the smart cities and one of the cleanest cities in the country. It has been in the news for the wrong reasons, and Mr. Pani has been dealing with it in a very nice manner. I mean, thanks to the way he has used IT for tracking every impacted person and how to contain that. I will request Mr. Pani to ask his question, next question to Sadhguru. Mr. Pani.
Thank you, sir. Namaste, Sadhguru ji. I am Bachanithi Pani, Municipal Commissioner, Surat. In fact, we are living in a very trying and testing time. Every day, our municipal workers, health workers, and police personnel, and even corona positive case are finding stigma attached to them, and they are being discriminated against by their societies, by other people who are living closely with them before, but not anymore now. So my question to you would be how to change, convert from corona negative to life positive, how to convert this, how to bring positivity in our lives and ensure that everyone fills this world with positivity. In fact, I am very inspired by your first answer that you are appealing all of us to rise to the occasion and perform our best. Now, kindly tell us how to make this world a more positive place.
Namaskaram to you. I know you have a difficult city to manage. I know from the days of, a plague that happened in Surat, to today what Surat has become is a phenomenal change. We congratulate you and your predecessors who made this happen. Thank you very much. Apart from that, we need to be little sensitive about using these words like stigma or segregation, because these are very negative words. Well, we should not misunderstand distance as discrimination. Well, when people see that somebody is a possible carrier because they are medical personnel or sanitation workers or whatever else, when people feel that somebody is out there and could be carrying virus, naturally they would like to keep distance. We should not misunderstand this distancing as this extra distance that they want as discrimination or stigma. It is not a stigma. I think sanitation workers, doctors, nurses, the police are being appreciated and celebrated like never before in the history of this country, if you ask me. Never before they've been so appreciated. For the first time, people are bowing down to the police. They always thought police are there to harass them. Unfortunately, this is a hangover from British era, that if you see a policeman, you think there is danger. Actually, if you see a policeman, you must feel safe. But unfortunately, this British era thing about if you see a police uniform, even though you are not a criminal, you've not done anything wrong, still you fear them. Because the impression and images that we have in our minds is police means they will come and beat you, kind of thing. Even mothers, when they want their children to eat well, they say, I will call the police because he will come and beat you. This kind of psyche has been there in the country. For the first time I am seeing people are in huge appreciation of sanitation workers, medical workers, the police personnel and all those who are out there on the street we normally ignore. Unfortunately, people normally ignore these people. Whoever says namaskaram to a sanitation worker who is who is cleaning the streets, they think he's obstructing them by sweeping when they're supposed to do their morning walk or something like that. This is the first time in this country that people are appreciating them. This is wonderful and we must keep it up and rise it further, because this appreciation is very needed if we really want to run this movement of Swachh Bharat into a successful conclusion. If we want this to happen to the entire nation, not to selective cities, it has to happen everywhere, then it's very, very important that this appreciation from the citizenry is there. Only when appreciation comes, then all this stuff that is being thrown on the street will stop and the work of the sanitary workers will become much, much simpler. Because even in a home, only when you have somebody around you that matter to you, that you appreciate and you love, such a person is cleaning the house. Now when you eat something, you're not going to throw it there. The most important aspect of Swachh Bharat is not cleaning. The most important aspect of Swachh Bharat is that we don't throw things around where they should not be. So that culture to come, this appreciation of the sanitary worker is most important. I think it's happening better than ever, and we must further that, we must make the necessary communication, how people are appreciating and why this is needed, because without this you cannot make Swachh Bharat. How much ever you clean, when people are not conscious that they should not dirty the place, how to clean endlessly? How many hours of a day will you go on cleaning? What goes beyond that, what is cleaning must happen from the bins, not from the street. Why all the streets are strewn with everything and somebody has to come and clean? This is simply because we have no appreciation for those who clean. We think it's their business to clean. No, it is our business to keep this nation clean. That message can go very well now. At a time like this, a pandemic, this is the best time to get that Swachh Bharat message out. And again I will repeat, Swachh Bharat does not mean sanitary workers going and cleaning the street. Swachh Bharat means every citizen ensures that he does not throw things around. So, with this appreciation levels, we must do this. Do not focus on a few negative incidents here and there. They are there, of course. In such a large country, such things will be there. But it is very important. There is a very profound level of appreciation from the largest part of the citizens, and that must be propagated, not these negative things of stigma.
Thanks a lot, Sadhguru. This is such a, learning for us. We will take this message forward through this. Our next question comes from Delhi has got 3 municipal commissioners and 1 chairman of the NDMC. We have selected the one, Delhi has got nearly 5,000 corona infected persons identified, and almost like 70-80 deaths are there. So we have selected Dilraj Kaur, Dr. Dilraj Kaur. She is a medical professional and she is the municipal commissioner of East Delhi, which is the most backward area of the whole of Delhi and has been most impacted by this pandemic. Should I request Dilraj to raise her next question? Dilraj?
Thank you so much, sir. Namaskar, Sadhguru.
Namaskar.
Sadhguru, this corona crisis, it is an unprecedented challenge for the entire mankind, at least for the existing generation. And in the absence of any specific treatment or vaccine, the situation becomes not only confusing, but also frightening. I say frightening because it brings to fore the very fragility of human existence. Sadhguru, I want to seek your advice, your guidance as to how do we as frontline workers and also leaders preserve ourselves individually, maintain our inner calm, especially in the wake of such uncertainties and insecurities, and not get consumed by fear, anxiety, or depression, so that collectively we are able to contribute and put our best foot forward and contribute effectively to face this enormous challenge. Thank you.
Well, as you already mentioned, that we are beginning to realize how fragile is human life. And it is. Virus or no virus, it is still fragile. So, one most important thing of living here is, I'm not trying to philosophize, this is a fact, that we are mortal creatures. Mortal creatures means we have come with a limited amount of time. We have a very limited amount of time to live here. Right now, the virus concern is, this limited amount of time may be further cut short because of this virus, that we are trying to fight, that is perfectly fine. But virus or no virus, it is a limited amount of time. If only human beings were always conscious of this, they would organize their life in a completely different way than the way the society is going. The society and most human beings are going on as if they are eternal. They are immortal people. They think other people die. No, 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 you and me will die. We don't want to have an untimely death, that's a different matter, but we are dying kind, all of us. So, this is being brought home in a very strong way. This is not a time to react into fearful and anxious ways. This is a tremendous opportunity for realization as to what is the nature of our existence here. Before we came here, countless number of people have existed, but they're all gone. None of them exist and no sign of them anywhere. Today it's ours, everything, this world, this city, this home, this family, this whatever else we think is ours, it's all ours. But we will be also gone and the next generation that lives here probably won't even remember us. Maybe a few people will be remembered, most will be forgotten. If I ask you to remember people who lived here on this planet just 100 years ago, how many people can you remember? How many names can you say? Maybe 100 names at the most. If I say 500 years ago, not even 5 names. 1000 years ago, not even 3 names. So that is what it will be about you and me also. So, it is very important to realize that we are mortal in nature. So this is not for one day, this is for always. This is not because there is virus around. Even when there is no virus around, every day people are dying. Now, it is hastening that process, we are fighting that. If we understand this itself will bring us to a little bit of ease. Now, whatever our anxieties, our struggles are like this. See, we have a physiology, we have a body, which we accumulated over a period of time. And we have a psychological structure, which we also accumulated over a period of time. Whatever we accumulate can be ours, but cannot be us. I cannot say this clothing is me. Well, I can say it is mine, but I cannot say this is me. Similarly, I cannot say this body is me, I can only say this is mine. Similarly, I can only say these thoughts and emotions are mine, but it cannot be me. If this distance arises within you, between you and your body, between you and your mind, if a little bit of distance arises, all these problems are just gone, okay? There are only 2 kinds of sufferings in human life, physical suffering and mental suffering. Once there is a distance between you and your body and you and your psychological structure, this is the end of suffering. How can we do this? This is very simple. If you're willing to invest 10-15 minutes a day upon yourself, upon your own well-being, this can be done. This is being… millions of people around the world are doing this, it's being freely offered. It's on a app, Durga Shankarji was talking about the app. There is something called as Isha Kriya. Just invest 12 minutes a day upon this. I'm telling you, it'll change the fundamentals of who you are. And it is free, everybody can do it, it's available in all languages, even for your… those on the street who do this work every day, everybody can do it wherever they are. Initially they can do it by using their phone or whatever, where using the app, after some time they can do it by themselves. Let us say 15 days, if you do it with the support of the voice, after that you can do it by yourself. So this is important for human life, corona or no corona, this is important for us that we live a sensible life. To get our life into perspective, we must know what is the length and breadth of our life, isn't it? If we do not even understand the fundamental dimension of how much time and how much energy and how much space we have to live here, how will we create a life of any meaning or substance? So it is very important, this is not a time for anxiety, this is a time for realization, it's a wonderful time if you look at it that way. There are hardships, there are economic hardships, there are risks to our life, there are risks to… especially if we have our parents or our grandparents, the aged people, there's a big risk to that. And also, children are also below 1 year, they're going into difficulties. For all of us, there is risk. Health risks, economic risks, lifestyles may have to change, the very way we work may have to change, businesses may go down, businesses may go up, all kinds of things may happen. But right now, we are using the word warrior. That means there is a war. There is no warrior without a war. But compared to a regular war, This is a good war because nobody is bombing our homes, nobody is shooting at us. If we behave responsibly and sensibly and we act with a certain sense of commitment to our own well-being and everybody's well-being, this can be easily handled. When we go back home, our home is not bombed out. This is a very good war compared to… people are comparing this to World War II. That is because they have not been there. They don't know what it means. They do not know what it means when you go out, by the time you come back, your home and your family has evaporated. They do not know what it means. We are calling it a war because we want to handle it on a war footing. That's it. But let's not mistake that it's a war in that sense. So if this is a war, and this is the only war we will face in this generation, I think it's a great blessing that it is not other kinds of war. Because our country might have been through a few wars, 4 wars we have been through, and of course daily low-intensity war is going on all the time. But fortunately for us, our soldiers are keeping the war only at our borders. We have never faced war in Coimbatore or in Indore or somewhere else. No war has happened in the last 150 years probably. So we have not seen a war. Our wars have been fought by our brave soldiers and kept at the very borders of our nation, never come into our country. So this corona or this virus war that we have to fight, this is a soft war, let's fight it. Very easy this is. If I say this, I know many people will be insulted, but I want to say this, it's very easy if only all of us operate in a responsible manner, because this is not coming to us through rats or mosquitoes or some other way. The basic transportation for the virus is a human being. If you and me as a human being behave responsibly, it's finished. We went into lockdown and lockdown and lockdown. Third, this is simply because people are not doing the lockdown absolutely. If 15 days every one of us are absolutely, genuinely locked down, it's finished. But as human beings, we are not behaving responsibly and that has been our problem. Right now, our war is not with the virus, our war is with our own compulsions, our own lack of discipline, our own lack of focus and our own lack of interest in our own well-being and our nation. That is the real war.
Guru, just being in company of yours is so transforming. I learned Sambhavi Kriya at Isha Foundation headquarters, and I still do it regularly every day, and I understand that how much difference it makes to the life. I think all our Swachhata warriors are noting this from you now. Through the app, you have made it so simple. Its outreach has gone to millions and very, very large population. Thanks a lot for providing that kind of assistance. I would request, after Dr. Dilraj Kaur, there is a video recorded by one of the Swachhata warriors from Ghaziabad, a next door city in Uttar Pradesh. I'll request the team to kindly run that video, and you would like to give your reaction to the Swachhata warriors all across the country. Thank you.
आदरणीय गुरुजी नमस्कार, मैं राजेश सफाई कर्मचारी गाजियाबाद नगर निगम में हूँ और मैं इस वक्त अपने साथियों की अधिकारियों के साथ रोज़ सफाई कार्य करने हम जा रहे हैं, जिससे कि हमें बहुत भय महसूस हो रहा है और हमें डर भी लग रहा है। हम अपने परिवार को, हमारा परिवार डर के साए में जी रहा है और हमें इस भय से मुक्ति दिलाने का कष्ट या कोई उपाय बताएं।
My namaskarams to Rajesh. I'm very sorry because I'm not able to answer the question in Hindi. हमारा हिंदी बहुत कमज़ोर है so somebody will translate it for you. Well, you need to understand this. This is a significant aspect that in the making of this nation, where Mahatma Gandhi played a significant role, one thing that he always tried to demonstrate is no work is high or low. And probably this is the only father of nation who's been seen, at least been photographed, maybe others have also done. But he's the only one photographed that sweeping with a broom I don't think anybody else has been caught with that as a father of the nation. So, in many ways, we have not seen which is high and which is low. It is very important for everybody to understand this. This virus time is a good time to communicate this message that who is important, who is not important. That is not the way to look at a society. The moment you think one thing is more important than the other, you will lose all perspective of how to conduct this life. It is very, very important to communicate to the entire country that sweeping the street, keeping it clean is as important as keeping your temple clean, as important as somebody going to the office, as important as a Prime Minister's job, I'm saying. Because that part of the country that you are sweeping right now, to keep it well is your business. I am keeping my part of it clean, you're keeping your part of it clean, somebody is doing something else. There is no one work which is more important than the other, we must realize this. And whatever the little stigma that we are talking about, I think it is… all of you leaders are here of this group, and we must communicate. If you want me to do something for you, a video or something about how significant this is, that as workers on the street, what they are doing is a significant part of nation building. This message must go out to the country. I think the nation is most receptive right now. Normally they have no ears for such things. Right now they're willing to listen to anything that is concerned with virus and how virus can be contained. The citizenry in the country is willing to listen. This is the best way to communicate. I congratulate and my blessings to you, Rajesh, for whatever work you're doing.
Thanks a lot, Sadhguru. In fact, a short video from you on this would be a great thing which you would like to play in our different social media and through different other media. That will be a great thing from you. And before I ask my next panelist, I will invite another Swachhata warrior whose question has been recorded from Bangalore, because Bangalore again has been impacted by COVID in a big way. Can I request the administrative team to run the video?
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಸದ್ಗುರು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಮಮತಾ ಅಂತ. ನಾನು BBMPಯಿಂದ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಪೌರ ಕಾರ್ಮಿಕಳಾಗಿ. ನಾನು ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ 5 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಎದ್ದೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, 6:30ಗೆ ಮಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. 6:30ಗೆ ಬಂದು ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ನನ್ನ ರೋಡ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ನಮಗೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ರೋಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ನನ್ನ ಮನೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ನಾನು ಶುದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊತೀನೋ, ನನ್ನ ರೋಡು ನನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸ ಕೂಡ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಶುದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ಜನಗಳು TV ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ತುಂಬ ಹೊಗಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಕರೋನಾ ಬಂದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇವರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯಿಂದ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಹೊಗಳಿಕೆ, ನಮಗೆ ಆಸೆ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಆಸೆ ಇದೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಇದರಿಂದ ಯಾವ ತೊಂದರೆನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Before I request you to speak, Sadhguru, I will request Arun Prakash, who is Municipal Commissioner of Agra. Agra is a tourist city known for great Taj Mahal. In fact, I had the great privilege of being the district magistrate for 2 years in the year 96 to 98. And now it is much is news because of the COVID cases, large number of cases there. Can I request Arun Prakash to raise his questions?
Respected Sadhguru Ji, Sadhar Namaskar. Myself Arun Prakash, Municipal Commissioner Agra. Sadhguru Ji, in Agra we have more than 5,000 sanitary workers who are involved in various activities like fogging, mopping, sanitization, especially in the sensitive hotspot areas. Sadhguru Ji, we would need your guidance on how these workers could be motivated and create a feeling in them as change agents so that they overcome the fear they have in their minds of getting infected.
One important thing I think has been largely communicated, but still it might not have reached many people. This is not that kind of an infection that you get from what you eat or whatever, it's mainly through respiratory discipline. So, wearing masks when they go out and staying away from people, these are etiquettes which have always been there in rural India, that at least in southern India, it's still there. When you want to speak to somebody, people hold their hand like this and speak, not because of the virus, always. When you want to speak something close to somebody, they don't… I'm sorry, there was a little disconnect. I think communicating to all the workers on the street very clearly in simple language that how an infection happens, it is not that just because you're cleaning the street, you will get the infection. Around the hospitals, around infected people, how to behave, what to do. I think if you educate them in this sense, rather than creating a simple general fear that it's somewhere in the air and it'll get you, it's not like that. You have to be around an infected person or around hospitals and those kind of areas. Around that, definitely we must take care, and the sanitation workers must get the necessary gear. I think if they wear a protective gear itself, they will feel far more confident that it is not happening to them. Otherwise, these simple people who are working on the streets, naturally, there will be a certain amount of fear. I think all of you who are in leadership and the state governments should ensure that they are sufficiently protected, because the day when already it is happening with the medical professionals, the doctors, nurses, sanitation workers, police, when the number of infections in this category of people increases, their enthusiasm will decrease. As their enthusiasm decreases, nation will be put to greater and greater risk. This must be clearly understood. It's very important medical personnel and the police and the sanitation workers are fully protected, because there have been some ugly incidents of… we heard, I don't know in which city, somewhere around Delhi, I think, that one sanitation worker was made to drink the disinfectant and I don't know whether he died or he was seriously ill, something like this happened. So such ugly things have happened. So it's very, very important that these people are given confidence and given support, if necessary, protection wherever it is necessary, because if the medical personnel, the police and the sanitation workers become less enthusiastic, then nation is at a great risk. This must be understood by everybody.
Thank you, Sadhguru, and thank you, Arun. Now I'm inviting the Municipal Commissioner of Madurai, the temple city of Tamil Nadu, to raise his next question. Mr. Vasikan.
Good afternoon and namaskar to Swamiji.
Vanakkam.
I feel really very blessed to be here before Sadhguruji this good afternoon session. My question is this: in Sadhguruji's opinion, what are the lessons that humanity can learn from COVID-19 situation?
Well, as we said earlier, the most important lesson is this we shouldn't have waited for COVID to come, but the most important lesson to understand is all of us are on a limited lease of time. How we manage this time and the little energy that we have will decide how profound is our experience of life and how impactful we are in the world. These are the only two things you can do. The only two things you can do is just this: profoundness of your experience and impact in the world. This is all. All activity is just this. You close your eyes, this is what it is about. You live with your family, this is what it is about. You go to the cinema, this is what it is about. Or you go and work in the world, this is what it is about. Profoundness of your experience and how profoundly or how impactful you are in the world. So these two things must be managed. This is when human life is worthwhile and fulfilling. Because people are not conscious that it's a limited amount of time, people are just going about as if they're going to live forever. Even now you see a little relaxation happened and these liquor shops opened and everybody's going crazy. So you can imagine what they were doing all these days. They were sitting at home and being frustrated, when will this liquor be available? The moment it happens, they forgot everything and they're piling up on each other without any sense. All we have done, this 6 weeks of being locked up, the entire nation, risking the country's economy, it is a huge social risk, it's a political risk. In every way, it's a risk for the nation, locking up a nation. We did that thinking we will beat the virus. But people who are living in certain states of compulsiveness, they have no care or concern about this. The moment the liquor shop opens, everybody piles up. So what is the use of your lockdown? What is the use of bringing our own economy down if people are… this is the level of compulsiveness that we have. So this is something that we have to learn, that the most important thing that we have to overcome is our own physiological and psychological compulsions. Only then you live free. As you know, in this culture, the most fundamental goal of our life is always mukti. Mukti does not mean going away somewhere. Here, how free are you, how liberated are you as you sit here? In your mind, in your body, in your consciousness, how free are you? This freedom you should work for. They gave you enough time, this is a government-introduced spiritual process for you. 6 weeks all by yourself, you should have closed your eyes and seen and what you can do about yourself, how you can become free. Because compulsiveness is the basis of all bondage that you have. You are always compulsive about something in body or in mind. Your compulsive nature of your body, mind and emotions is the basis of all the troubles and struggles that you are having in your life. If you know how to be free from your own physiological and psychological compulsions, it is absolute freedom. Still, there is some more lockdown period. I hope everybody makes use of it. Those who want to be drunk and unconscious, unfortunate, but what to do with them? But at least others who are sober they must make use of this time to see that we are free from our compulsions, because this is a little bit of time that we have, very little time. For what potential the human being carries, the time that is given to us is very, very small. Only miserable people feel it's too long a life. If your experience of life is profound and in the world you are impactful, what you want to do with this life and how much time you're given is extremely small amount of time. In this, let it not go waste, because that's all we have. Whether you like it or you don't like it, our time is ticking away. Virus or no virus, time is ticking away. Where are we going? As we sit here, we may think of many things. As far as our body is concerned, it's going straight to the grave, nowhere else, not going anywhere else, straight down there. So this little time that we have as life, because before we were born, we did not exist. And after we are dead, after a few years, we will not exist. Our existence is right now. This is the most significant time in our existence, because we are here, alive, conscious, with a discerning mind. Now if we do not make use of this, the very phenomena of life has gone waste upon us.
Thanks a lot, Sadhguru. I mean, one word which sums up is the sanjam. If we do the sanjam, I think rest all is, is taken care of. I'll now request our mission director, the Joint Secretary, Mr. Vinod Kumar Jindal, to ask his next question. He has been leading the program across the nation, Swachh Bharat, and even during this period of the lockdown. In fact, continuously we have been through the video conference discussing with all the municipal officers and the state government officers and trying to follow so that we make the best use of this time for making our cities clean and hygienic. Vinod Kumar Jindal.
Namaste, Guruji. Namaste. the nature has provided a bountiful resources us, be it food, air, be it air, water. But what we do, and the nature also regenerates when we give it back by disintegrating into and converting into resources. What the nature needs from us, just whatever after enjoying the gifts it has given to us, give back in its original form, not mixed with the man-made chemicals, artificials. If we do not do, the nature will fury in the form of climate change, in the form of pollution, leading to diseases, leading to disasters. The government does its own work, make policies, implement Swachh Bharat missions, motivate the people so that they can manage their segregate. As you have already told, it is our business to manage our own waste, but it has been a challenging work. Sir, please seek your guidance how we can motivate the people to segregate the wet waste, that is a nature waste, from the man-made waste, that is a dry waste or chemical waste, so that all the waste can be managed and can be converted into resources.
See, the problem of pollution in the country and in the world has reached a certain proportion. As we know, millions of tons of plastic in the oceans, chemicals in the rivers and ponds, everywhere. Well, I think the approach has changed now. This was also part of the recommendations in the Rally for Rivers, and now in the last 4 to 5 years, significant changes happened in the policy. And for it to implement in a country like this, where resource is always a challenge, happens at a certain pace that all of us may leave all of us a little impatient, but that's the level of resource we have. But one significant aspect I would like to say, because all of you are managing cities, and I'm sure in most cities this is already true, but in many it is not yet, is… See, our cities, except a few cities, a handful of cities, rest have all grown over hundreds of years. So naturally they're haphazard and not really planned properly, they're just grown according to people's needs. So because of this, sanitation is one huge challenge. Even to lay a new pipe is a big problem, because you have to go through some home, you have to demolish something, and they will go to court, and it's an endless process, all of you know this very well. So in this, I would like to separate this into… you separate it into wet waste and man-made waste, that is a thing that needs to happen. But the most significant thing is industrial waste and domestic waste. This separation must happen clearly. Right now, for many polluting industries, there has been a law in the country that they must set up their own treatment plants. This is a wrong way to do it. That has been our biggest mistake, because if you ask a polluting industry to set up its own treatment plant, that treatment plant generally works only on the inspection day. Other days they keep it off because there's a cost to it. So it's most important that a treatment industry grows in such a way that your effluent is my business, is my raw material. Then I will make sure my raw material is always flowing, and my business is to treat. You can make treatment industry into a very lucrative industry. Polluting industries should not treat their own effluent. It is very important, another industry which manages just the treatment must run this, then only it'll be more efficient. So doing this for industries is much simpler, because we can do certain things with businesses. But doing the domestic waste is much more difficult, because it's built haphazardly, and in 1,000 different places, sewage is entering a big city means at least 1,000 different places sewage is entering a river or ocean. So how to control this is not an easy thing. It needs a whole level of infrastructural change which the citizens themselves are not ready for. So that is a much more challenging part. For this, one way to do it is, there must be a charge for the sewage. As there is water and electricity is being charged, how many units of water or electricity you use, there is a charge. How many units of sewage you discharge, also there must be a charge. This right now may look strange, but this has to happen, otherwise you don't have the money to do the treatment. Domestic sewage must be treated by the municipality because individual houses cannot do it, but industrial sewage must be treated by treatment industries. For domestic sewage also you can bring that industry, but still, unless the domestic users pay for it, it will not happen, that's one thing. About separating plastics and other things from wet waste, this is important, this can only happen with awareness. To reach that awareness to every citizen in such a large and diverse country of various levels of economic strata in the country, it is easier said than done. It is beginning to happen in most of the educated homes, in apartments, everywhere it's beginning to happen, but still across the country to make it happen, still it is a challenge. One simple way of doing it is to bring a kind of an incentive. Like for example, when we were all growing up, even though we are from a reasonably well-to-do families, in spite of that, all the old newspapers, magazines, everything properly folded and kept. Once in a way that guy comes and this is for the women folk in the house, this is their pocket money kind of thing. And they will sit there and measure this, because I've been through this process, sit there and weigh this, that guy wants to take one extra newspaper, they'll say, no, 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 and they weigh every kilogram of the newspaper and get so much money, and then they will say, I've got some twine. Those days all the groceries, everything will be with what do you say, this jute ropes or jute threads. They would have wound all of that and kept, they will bring that and weigh that also and sell it. So there must be some kind of an incentive for all this man-made waste. If you create an incentive, I think a whole lot of people will put it out for sale, and once there is a little bit of income, right now in India, fortunately or unfortunately, over 93% of the plastic bottles in India get recycled. Not because we are handling it in a very good way, simply because we are throwing it wherever. There are rag pickers and others who, little children and women going and picking these things from everywhere because there is an income in that. Because there is an income, 93% of the plastic bottles are recycled, which is among the highest in the world. This is not because of good management, because of low economic levels of the people, they are picking up every little bit that is anywhere, any plastic they see, they pick it up and now they sell it somewhere. So this could happen in the domestic scene itself, that every home, whatever plastics and other things they get, if it was out for sale and there was a way, a marketplace or through the online you could sell, I have so many kilograms of plastic, means somebody comes and picks it up. If there is an economic value to it, you will solve it. Otherwise, just by awareness, getting it there in a country like this, where there are different levels of educational strata, different levels of awareness strata, different economic stratas, which are widely different, making that awareness across the population is a challenge.
Guru, we have all the panelists ask their questions, so let me, towards the end, let me ask you.
Let me talk to that Bangalore lady.
What is your message to our Corona warriors?
I would like to talk to that Bangalore lady who sent the video because she's the only one I can answer in her language. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ತಾಯಿ ಮಮತಾಮ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಚ್ಛತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ನೀವು, ಸ್ವಚ್ಛವಾದ ಭಾರತ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಶ್ರಮಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ನೀವಿಲ್ದೇನೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ದೇಶ, ಒಂದು ಶುದ್ಧವಾದ ದೇಶ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು, ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದಗಳು ನಿಮಗೆ. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಸರ್.
Sir, to end this program, we have had the questions from all the panelists. Now I would like to ask you, what is your message to all our Swachhata warriors? One, in the context of this Corona, which is going to be only for the time being a very short phenomenon, where a lot of learning we have done from you and a lot to do, but mainly to make this country completely clean. That is the vision of Honorable Prime Minister, that it should become completely clean. How to take this forward? that we make our country, any part of the country you go, any city you go, and that city is as clean as city of Indore or city of Surat or just like this. So your message, sir.
As I said earlier, it's very important. I don't know if this is possible, please, maybe state governments have to take individual decisions. All the Swachhata people that, the people who work on the ground, they must be seen with a prominent kind of uniform which is dignified and looks up well, and there is also a slogan calling for people's involvement in this. Keeping the city clean, keeping the country clean is not just the job of the person who cleans it, but it is the job of every citizen who uses that street. First of all, it's a shame that it's dirty and somebody has to clean it. It is… if we are responsible citizens, if we have any sense of humanity that we are not going to live like animals in this country, if we want to live like human beings, it is important that every citizen understands keeping the street clean, city clean, country clean is not the work of people who clean or municipality or whoever. Yes, they have to do their work, but the important thing is every citizen must participate. If we have a kind of a slogan drawing everybody's attention that you are also a Swachhata warrior, not just me kind of slogan, if you want we can work on it and send it to you. I think it'll be very important, because without citizens' participation, how much will you clean? Just try to understand this. If there are 5 people in a family, one person is a cleaning person. If the other 4 people are not conscious about keeping the house clean, they don't value what has been cleaned just now. If you clean it and go, somebody will throw something whenever they feel like it. How will it ever become clean? All it will lead to is frustration of those who are cleaning, and slowly they say, anyway, these people want to live dirty, so why should we do it, kind of frustration. This need not be always driven by the Prime Minister. This should be driven by the people. I think that is Prime Minister's intention also, that people should take it up and make it happen. People does not mean those who are working on the street, people mean citizens. Everybody who uses the street must become conscious and must become a partner in keeping the city clean. So in the residential areas, very easily you can bring partnership with the residents. We can call for meetings and make them partners in this cleanliness business, they will participate. But in general streets, in commercial streets, also we can bring participation. If some of them are cleaning, others will spend time talking to the citizens, it will be much more clean than simply cleaning. Broom is not the only way to clean. Just by talking to people, making them conscious on a daily basis, if we train these Swachhata warriors to do that, that will make the streets much more clean than the brooms and other instruments that we have. Well, that is also part of the work, but citizens' partnership is most important. Without their partnership, without their participation, keeping the streets clean is going to be always a challenge. We must change that, because where does the dirt come from? Where does the problem come from? If we do not solve the problem there, going on cleaning endlessly is not the answer.
That's great. Few lakhs, but whole 130 crore, everybody become a Swachhata warrior and keep themselves and the places around them clean, the whole nation become very clean. I think that's a great message, and there have been a lot of learning from your 1 hour discussion with our 6 of our panelists and the 2 recorded messages. I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I would like to thank all those who have joined through the YouTube. I'm sure this YouTube will be available for viewing. Those who have missed this, maybe they would like to go through it again and would like to listen to Sadhguru, be in his company through this YouTube, and take resolve like a warrior. Though this is not a war, but they are battling. I mean, they are on war with the coronavirus. They are at war with making sure that everybody's life is secured, safe, and people are able to live fearlessly, do their job. So in this time, a great companion of Sadhguru. I think I would like to end with your own saying, if you are constantly facing new situations, it means you are living a life of growth and a great possibilities, which you reiterated during the course also, that here is a huge opportunity which one can make a note of, or which we can take resolve and work on this. Again, thanks a lot for being with us and being with the whole country. To all our Swachhata warriors, thank you.
Namaskaram, my privilege to be with all of you. Thank you.
Of course.